All right, everybody, welcome to the Studying Brew episode 1062 on this beautiful Thursday evening. It is a Thursday. It is the final Studying Brew of the week because we don't do this on Friday, but we here on Thursday, and we're going to be doing this. We're going to go over a little quiz. I was going to say live quiz, but we're not doing a live quiz. We're going to do a quiz. We're going to do some quiz questions. We're going to go over 6 questions, 6 answers. We're going to do some techniques. We're going to do some content. We're going to do all that we can do to help you guys master these exams so you can get a pass notice. What is my name? My name is Andy. I'm the guy that runs the back office over here at KonaButterflyz. I can take notes. I can answer phone calls, but I can't teach you. That's why we got Brandy, because she's got her Series 6, 63, 26, 65, and her Series 7. Make sure more than qualified to teach you all the things you need to know. So that way you too can get a pass notice. And if you haven't picked up her latest book, the Series 65, you need to check it out. It is really good. And she put a year and a half into that thing.
That sounds weird. Her latest book.
It is your latest book. Yeah. I mean, what did I say that was weird? All right. Well, apparently Brandy doesn't know that she's got stuff going on. All right. Anyways, we got all kinds of great stuff going on for you guys. And in case you were wondering, we are surviving another storm in 2025 in Southern California. It was another rainy day, which means no idea what we're doing around here. But I do know what we are doing here. We are going to do some studying. We got all this free stuff, guys, on here. By the way, if you're on our YouTube, we like the fact that if you could subscribe, spread the word, let people know, tell a friend, and check this thing out. We do this on the nightly just because it gives you guys a nice way to connect, especially if you're on live. You can stay on afterwards and ask your study questions, or we can talk about kids at Disneyland who don't appreciate being at Disneyland. I think that was our conversation last night for a minute.
That was part of it.
And the fact that, hey, Chuck E. Cheese, ain't nothing wrong with it. You got a mouse, Chuck E. Cheese got a rat. Who's the king of the basement?
No.
I'm just saying. Ain't nothing wrong with Chuck E. Cheese. That was a legit conversation. And you can hang out for that and ask us study questions as well, because that did happen as well. So we can do that. We are so happy to have all of you here. I really am, because it is really a blessed feeling to feel that, people took their time to be on here. Like folks, like, I just want to say, I want to shout out some people that are on late at night. Ebony out there in Indiana, out here on that hour. What is it, like 1 a.m. or something like that? Tim, same thing. We got Donna. She's in Florida, 1 a.m. We got people on here. They're just they're on late. You know what I mean? And if I missed out on you and I didn't mention your name, it's just because I don't know you or I didn't go through the participants list. But we got Winnie in Hawaii. We got Hawaii in the house. We're literally coast to island. You know what I mean? Coast to island. We're on many coasts, and we just want to say it really is a blessing to have you. And of course, what about Jacoby?
We can't.
How do you not forget Jacoby?
We can't not.
He is not only his own hype man, he is also his own he's also his own Power Ranger. He's also his own wrestler. He's also a Florida man. And if you talk to him, there's no mystery there. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, it is great. It is great. All the great people on here. I really do. I really appreciate all of you. And I'm going to say this to all of you. I know there's a lot of crazy going on, and there's a lot of in the community and everywhere around us, and whether it's political, whether it's personal, whether it's whatever's going on in your life, whether it's the weather, there's always going to be some kind of crazy. But the one thing you got to do is, when it's the craziest, when it's the most overwhelming, when it's the most like you just can't, you know what I mean? Kids wanting Disneyland, but you like, yo, you're gonna get Chuck E. Cheese. You know that argument. Look, you just have to just say, you know what? The fact that we can even go anywhere is a blessing. The fact that we're all healthy and we can go somewhere and do something together is a blessing. The fact that we are all on here and we can learn and we can talk and we can joke and we can do something with our lives is a blessing. The fact that you guys are all on the internet right now and you got electricity, you're in a building, you got heat if you need it, right? Mm-hmm. Is a blessing. We all overlook the smallest blessings in our lives that allow us to do the things that we can do in the present. And when it's all crazy and you feel like you can't breathe, slow down and just think of all the blessings that you have. And you just realize that there is somebody somewhere laying in a hospital bed or laying somewhere wishing they had just a third of what you got going on in your life. And when you take an audit of all the things that you have going right, it puts everything in perspective. It puts everything in perspective. I ain't got it that bad. I ain't got it that bad. This ain't that bad. You know what? I need to stop complaining. This is not that bad. I can study. The fact that I can do this is awesome. The fact that I got to get up tomorrow morning and go to work, that's great. There's a lot of people that don't even have a job. You know what I mean? Don't, don't, don't get caught up in the crazy. Don't get caught up in everybody's negative attitudes. Get caught up in the positive. Have a positive mental attitude. Every time you put yourself in the positive light, every time you take gratitude and you take account for all the blessings that you have, it changes everything that you can do. And what I mean is, it puts you in a spot where you can learn. Because when you sit yourself down and you're in a negative mindset and you're sitting there thinking about all the things that you can't do, right? And I know I'm joking about Chuck E. Cheese and Disneyland, but listen, if you don't just sit there and go, you know what? I live an amazing life. I could take my kids to a Chuck E. Cheese and they're going to have the time of their lives. And that's all that matters. And not be complaining about all the things that you don't have and you can't go. We can't go to that trip in Paris right this month, or the summer. You know what I mean? Come on, guys. But you know what I can do? I can have a dang good time with my family. I can go and study. I can raise my level and I can show my family, I can show myself how we can succeed if we just focus on our blessings and we focus and have the right positive mental attitude that allows us to relax, breathe, and just learn and study and do that. Because when you go negative, and I know you all know the feeling, I'm not immune to it. You get in that negative mindset, it just everything sucks. Everything is the worst. Nothing is right. Everybody's bad, but it's actually you. You can't let that stuff affect you. And you just got to get in that prayer mode. You got to get in that blessing mode and you just take account and get yourself in the positive foot. And as you head into this weekend, I want you guys to take that into account. I want you to put that on your study. If you're feeling like you can't get this thing done, if you're feeling like everything is going crazy, the economy, the politics, the people in the office, there's some dude in your cubicle that keeps going in there and smells and got bad breath, whatever it is has got you all twisted. Slow down, take account, and you know what? And be like, that's why I got to study. That's why I got to get this thing done. That's why it's okay for me to miss out some things, to put this in front of it, to prioritize, to make it happen. And then guess what? You feel good about yourself. You feel like you're accomplishing something. It's like nobody likes to work out, but what do you feel like afterwards? Besides tired and sore, you feel good. Because you know why? Because you took the time to be a little selfish, to put yourself first, to take care of your health. And you know it's the right thing to do, but it just doesn't, it's not always the one thing that we want to do, but we feel good afterwards. But it's good. And those things are good. So this weekend, as you get your study on and you're looking to relax and you're looking to do all that stuff, guys, get into that positive mental attitude. And also, if you have not started joining us and you're watching the free and you love what we have on the free, you got to get it on the paid. Because if you think we're good at this, you should see what Brandy does in the paid program. Because not only do you get all this content that's easier to understand, but Brandy also has all these great videos and we have these live sessions where we're just, Brandy's just accessible and she's showing you how to take this knowledge and apply it in the quizzes and how to break it down. So that way you don't struggle as much. Because you know what? You doing this through other programs, I'm telling you right now, even some people who claim that they have their own study program and they just repeating whatever they just read in this book or that book, and then they go and like say the same thing and you're just really paying for a live audible. Guys, we're really doing our own original stuff. Brandy goes to FINRA, she goes to NASA, she goes on that stuff and she sees what they're testing on. She breaks it down into simple to easy to understand information that you only need to know. So that way you guys can focus on this stuff, move on to the next quiz, master it, how to even know stuff with, get right answers without even knowing the content. We only ones teaching that. Most people are like, no, you got to know this. No, look, we just looking for a right answer. If you can get me to a 50-50 shot on a quiz question and I can get it right and I get a pass notice, what are we even talking about here? Because all we need to get is a pass notice. Am I right? We need to get a system that gets you through multiple exams, and that's what we got going on. So if you haven't joined up, scan the QR code, hit the links. We got books for sale. You can either be a member or not. It doesn't matter. You can use them both ways. If you are a member, they work awesomely because you get some interactive videos that go with that 65, that brand new Series 65, and that SIE. We also got stuff for the 6, the 63, and the 26 Kona community on the Discord. If you're feeling negative, if you're feeling like you got some questions, you can join in there, shoot some screenshots, let the Kona family help you, let Brandy help you over there. And that's open all the time. 951-290-3077. Give a call, give a text. We got an email. If you're into emails, KonaButterflyz@gmail.com. Scan the QR code, hit the link, and also check out all the newest members of the Kona Hall of Fame over on Instagram. All right, what's our schedule for tomorrow? Tomorrow we have study hall. So right off the bat, Brandy is going to do a quiz with you. What that means is you open up a quiz, you just do your study. Brandy's going to do her thing, and then if you got a question that pops up, you go, "Hey, Brandy,
Yep.
got this question here.
What's up?
This makes no dang sense to me." And she
Yep.
goes, "Read it to me."
Yep.
She's done so many different Q banks and so many questions. She can probably guess what it is with just the first few sentences that you guys say, and just really clarify it. And it helps. And we try to be accessible. So all of our members get that study hall in the morning, and then we go right into Kona Exam Mastery, where she teaches you how to really take apart these quizzes. You got techniques in there, you got study tips, you get strategies, you get exam tips, all that great stuff in those sessions. So we have that all tomorrow. It's all about you guys. All right, we got that 65 book. Get your copy if you're studying for that 65. It is at that $30 price point right now, but I'm telling you right now, the amount of work and effort that goes into that, we are way underpriced on that book comparatively in the market. People literally charge probably about $160 for that book, and we're doing like $30. So check it out. Scan the QR code, hit the link, and get yourself one while it lasts at that price.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get into it. Enough Andy talk. Let's get into Brandy talk. She got these Series 6. We call it the Series 6 because we're going to go over 6 questions, 6 answers, 6 different exams. We're going to show you some techniques, some questions. All you got to do is you need to really be a student right now. Watch how Brandy takes these things apart. She's going to go by it step by step. She's going to show you how she used them keywords like we showed you on Monday. She's going to show you how she used them, the techniques like we showed you on Tuesday. We're going to show you what she was going to show you on Wednesday normally. But whatever we do during the week, we apply it on Thursday, all there for you to look at and watch. And then what we want you guys to do afterward is to go get your own quiz and start really learning this process of looking and observing and using the techniques and strategies the way Brandy does it. So let's get to it, Brandy.
Yes. Let's do it. Sorry, there's all like conversations. anyways, yeah, so guys, today is just a little bit of content, a whole lot of techniques. And yesterday we did talk about corrections and crashes and the differences between all those. And just letting you guys know, NASDAQ did hit what they would consider correction territory. See, I told you guys are going to hear it in the news, right? Doesn't mean anything bad, it's just a little blip. It needs to happen. All right, you guys ready? Let's go. I did a lot of numbers today. I don't know why. It just so happened that these numbers popped up in, these are pretty much back to back. Okay. These are pretty much back to back. I decided, you know what? It's a little bit of content night. So that's what we're going to do.
Right.
And the other thing I wanted to mention is that this does kind of also piggyback some of the stuff that we did talk about today in our member sessions as well. So we have 39 being the lowest, 41 being the highest, and the 40-40 being the third. And I'm going to say this,
It's got change on there.
it's got change. And it's funny that it's 40, 40.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this for the most part, unless you're studying for like the 65, unless there's a lot of change going on when I mean change, I mean like sense
Right.
going on in the
Centavos.
yes, going on in the question, that's probably going to be very rare, especially considered the other ones are 41, 40, and 39.
There's not a lot of change talk on the exam.
Not really, because change gets complicated, right? So I scanned it, right? And I see that
Put
4%.
that on a shirt.
What?
Change gets complicated.
It was originally issued 1010, but is currently trading at blah, 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 blah. And they're basically, the question is asking how much interest will the bondholder receive each year. Now, I did this thing in this SIE today, and so many people were like, I'm going to memorize this song. And I'm going to draw my 4 right here for percent. Add a $sign, add a 0, add a $sign, add a 0. That's literally all you guys need to do with bonds. Add a $sign, add a 0. So 4% becomes 40. That's all. None of that other stuff was that. All of that other stuff was noise. Just noise. Just noise. Spinning her head all day.
Yeah, exactly. Look at all that 1,900, like all that is nonsense.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. We don't need any of that because the question was how much interest are we receiving?
There you go.
Okay.
Add a $sign, add a 0.
That's literally the song. It works. All right. Firm commitment, best efforts, all or none, best efforts, mini max. Firm commitment is
best efforts mini max. That sounds like an amazing convenience store.
Can I be real with you guys? I'm gonna be real with you.
Hey, we're not the best convenience store, but I am the best effort, and it's a mini.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say this. It wasn't really until because the 65 goes a little bit more detailed than the SIE. And it really wasn't until I started doing my research for the 65 that I now understand what it means by mini max. And it doesn't, and by the way, it's mini max, not maxi.
Wow.
But anyways,
they had their best effort in proofreading.
Yeah. But it was, I don't know, it was just like, I'm like, okay, now that makes sense. You got a minimum or a maximum that you're willing to sell. I'm like, okay.
It was
But
their
anyways,
best effort in getting that out.
yeah. By the way, my study material did not have that information that clear.
You did a firm
when I was studying.
You did a firm commitment on that?
Yeah. Anyways, guys, just like what Eric put in the chat, the firm is committed to sell it all because why? They made a firm commitment. If an underwriter agrees to purchase an entire offering, what type of agreement? See, this is one of those situations where why can't it be firm commitment? I just told you I'm going to buy all of it, and so it's fine. I committed firmly.
Speaking of Eric, he did a quiz the other day, got 100%. All techniques, no studying.
Somebody else told me that they did a 10-question quiz, nothing but techniques, 70%.
Series 65 quiz, if you were wondering what Eric's studying.
The other one was an SIE.
Yep.
10 questions, nothing but techniques.
We just talking about pass notices.
Just what? Expense ratio, distribution fees, sales load, service fees. I could focus on the 2 fees, right? And I have said that most of the time that is the answer.
Yeah, that's what you said on Tuesday.
I did say that on Tuesday. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make a note of B&D being fees, but I'm also going to look at the fact that it says expense, distribution, sales, and service. I guess, truth be told, I probably look at both. Because it's, you know why? Because it's two words. It's 2 words. Okay. Per answer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So to determine the amount that the fund charges its shareholders each year for operating the fund. Operating the fund, it's definitely not distribution. Operating the fund is not a sales load. Operating the fund is not a service fee. It is definitely an expense. Come on.
Do you guys see that operating an expense, right? When you operate a business, you have expenses. Mm-hmm. That makes sense to anybody? Anybody?
Operating.
I feel like that moment in Ferris Bueller. Anyone? It's only funny to like people over the age of 40 on that joke. I'll do better.
Does it? Never. Okay. This is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite answers because 8 is the only one that has no decimal, right?
Yeah.
This one is higher than the 8. This one is lower. This one is lower, right?
Yes. Facts.
Okay. So, and that's all just observe. And then look at this crazy question, right? And so I did this whole like add a dollar sign, add a zero, right?
Right.
Okay. So, but I want to get to the point of the question because that's a lot of numbers. And if I don't have to do math, I'm not going to. It says if the bond was purchased for a price of 99, what's the current yield? Well, the current yield, dun, 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 dun. Oops, my questions, right? If this is, let me get a different color. If this is 8 and this is less than 1,000 or less than 100, right? Then I just got to pop that up right there because this is my current yield. That means it's going to be, is that arrow going up or down? It's going up, right?
Up.
So is that arrow right there. And now I don't have to do any math because I just used the seesaw. That's it.
That's all.
That's it. And look at how many numbers are up there.
That's a visual.
That's it. Boom, 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 boom. Add a dollar sign.
Needs math. No, I'm just kidding. Eric.
Eric's like, don't say.
About to ready to have a stroke.
I told you guys lots of numbers. Lots of numbers. Right? Okay, so I have all of this is unnecessary because it's all the same, right? So I don't have to pay attention to that. All I have to pay attention to is $750, $80, $1,000, or $99.25. Okay. Again, what's up with all these things, right? So the American Utility Company of
What up, Tim? I forgot to mention Tim, by the way. Tim in Ohio, Toledo.
And I pulled this question. I was like, this is like a number heavy brew, but I was like, but it says Ohio. So I gotta give a shout out. All right. Yep. So they're offering 750 million. So how are they getting $750? I'm not seeing that. 8% bonds. Well, remember, add a dollar sign, add a zero. 99.25% of par value. I mean,
sounds complicated.
Maybe, but whatever. But they're going to talk about my yearly interest. Interest is always in the form of a percent, right?
Yeah.
So I just need to pay attention to the percent. Oh, I guess 99.25%. By the way, I'm going to say this, guys. You will not ever see it quoted like this. You won't see it like that. You'll just see it like this.
Add a dollar sign, add a zero.
Yeah.
Got it right.
Yeah. That's it. Add a dollar sign, add a zero. Okay, one more. I didn't even see that must. The account must be closed. Nothing, since it was opened prior to her hiring. She must obtain her employing firm's written permission. Guys, look. When you guys see written permission, that's a huge flag. That's a good flag, though.
Yeah.
It usually means that's a good answer.
That is, even though it has a must. And we know we say sometimes that must is not true. But in that fact, if, like when it comes to some legalities, right?
Yeah.
You must not kill your neighbor. That is a fact. That is not a not true. That's a fact. That's a good true. That's a good must.
That is fact. And then the account must be transferred to her employer. Wow, that's like harsh. Is the firm just trying to get business, right? And then we go to the question, and the question says an individual has been hired as an assistant at a brokerage firm. Prior to her being hired, the individual had opened an account at another firm. What must they do? We already said that the written permission is probably the answer. So like they're not going to make you close it. It's not nothing. You don't have to transfer it, but just get that permission. Good to
got to put it in writing. That's it.
That's it.
That's a good one. All right, we did it.
Did it.
We made it. Right. Look how easy that was. Even someone said, I love the way you make this so easy. Thank you, Donna. But you know what? It doesn't have to be that difficult. Look how one of the things I think the most problematic for most people is that they see these questions with the numbers and the percents and they automatically think this is math. They freak out. They almost have a virtual stroke, right? They're like, oh my gosh, or they love math, and then they take so long doing the math, and then they take so long doing all the formulas and everything. Look, and they do it right. I'm not saying some people are really great at math. Like Eric, I give him a hard time. He's really great at math.
Yeah.
But you know what the problem is? Is the clock is going. Time is going by. You don't have time to really mess with it. So it's really important to know that some of these questions are really not math questions at all. Just because it has numbers in it doesn't mean you need to freak out and think it's a math one. And all on the flip side of it, you don't need to get excited in making everything a formula and sit there and do all this math. Even though it's great and fantastic that you can, you need to just get the answer and move on, because time is a ticking away. And if you need help in distinguishing all of that and understanding it, get into the member sessions on all exams. Like some people asking, what do you do in exam mastery? That is what we're talking about. When do we need to really pop out the calculator or figure out math? When do we don't need to? And what is not really a math question? And that is super important if you're just studying the 65. Everything seemingly looks like a math question. And guess what? It's not. It's not.
Didn't pick up the calculator once.
Brandy didn't even use the calculator once and got the 65 done. First attempt.
Don't want your stinky calculator.
Series 7, first attempt. No calculator. That should be an eye opener for you. Don't overcomplicate it. Check out what we just did. If you're having trouble, join us. I encourage you. We have member sessions tomorrow. That exam mastery is tomorrow, Friday. Go get in on that. And then we'll be back for the Studying Brew on Monday for all the rest of you. But until then, everybody, keep studying. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. And keep the positive mental attitude. PMA, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you so much for being on. We so super appreciate you and your guys' time. Make sure that you guys are implementing these techniques when you guys are taking your quizzes tonight and through the weekend. We will see you next time. Have a great one.